Hi Brett, how are you today? I'm so glad you made it into session. I see you've met Taquito. So last time I remember I was talking about how you be comfortable with a therapy dog in session. And how does that make you feel right now? You enjoying petting him?
Yeah.
Alright, wonderful. So another thing we discussed was addressing a check-in at the beginning of session, which is this thermometer here. Do you remember what that meant? So last time we had you draw and fill in a thermometer based on your emotions you were feeling that day. And what that meant is that you can label this however you like, and you fill this thermometer in whatever drawing medium you like. So today we have oil pastels here. We have a bunch of chalk pastels. We have crayons, markers, and colored pencils. So if you're ready, you can go ahead and start our check-in today with filling in what emotion you're feeling. Okay, Brett, so I see that you finished here. Can you tell me about what you've drawn?
Yes. I outlined your thermometer with red because there's like always all kinds of levels of anger somewhere in me, but like it might not be conscious. So the like outline of your little thermometer thing here is red. And then like the blue part is like my normal resting anger, which is always kind of like bubbling upwards like water, so I made it blue because it's like water, but like it's also like water with an island growing underneath it, so like as you can see it like kind of cresting right here and coming out, and then like there's like just a hint of a volcano or something right here, and that's the like the yellow and the green is like small little amounts of fire coming out, and you know like toxic gases and things like that is the green, and then like the orange is kind of representative of like heightened state of alertness about my feelings because I always have to be careful. It's like the safety zone. And once I get past that is whenever things are actually red.
And what was that moment for you today that you almost reached that point of getting over that edge of the safety net? What happened?
I was looking for something that I thought I knew where it was, and I couldn't find it, and it wasn't in any of the obvious places that I thought it would be. And I was in a rush, so like it was just compounding with everything else, and you know my frustration was growing, and I just like took a moment of introspection and was like, I can't get any madder about this. I need to calm down and get ready to leave.
So talking about calming down, last session we also talked about some breathing exercises to help with anxiety and to reduce your anger. Did you remember that in that moment? Were you able to practice those exercises that we went over last time?
I didn't do the like numbered one, like the 3, 2, 3 or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do that one. I just kind of like listened to my breathing, things like that.
Yeah. How did that make you feel? Did you find that helped at all, or indifferent? Did that soothe the anger you're feeling then, or how did that affect you going through those motions?
It helped to distract me, for one. Not like distract me from the feelings I was obviously feeling, because I don't think I don't know, maybe you can be distracted from feelings, but I was still feeling them. Just kind of distract me from the thing that was making me feel those feelings, so like stop thinking about the thing I can't find and where it might be and things of that nature, and just think about how I have to continue about my day, and how I have to keep breathing, I guess.
Yeah, so it almost serves as a way to redirect and focus. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's a very positive thing to just keep in mind, to take a step back and reflect on your emotions. If you're feeling angry, at what level are you feeling it, and is it at that breaking point yet? So the other thing I'd like to discuss though is that you try to just keep that safety net there, and as long as nothing gets out of that safety net, everything's okay. And so with this next directive, I want to address that. What would happen if you got out of that safety net? So for this next part, I want you to think of what your anger looks like at its most intense moments. So when it gets beyond that orange, what happens when it's no longer contained by that safety net? How does that make you feel? What does that look like to you? And also another point to think about is like, what would that anger be telling you? What would that anger be saying in that moment? So you can go ahead and use any material you like again.
So what my worst anger looks like.
Yes. When you no longer are in that safety net of the orange that you've shown today. How is using the oil pastels?
It's kind of like crayons, just sticks more to the page.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about what it is that you drew.
I wanted it to look a little more monstrous, but it ended up being like a little gremlin, I guess. Cause like it's small now, and like I even drew my foot here. I don't want its small size to be misrepresented.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the movement in your green lines here.
Movement?
Yeah, the green lines are the only ones that are not just straight lines.
Oh.
So, was the green representative of anything? What does the green mean to you?
I kind of wanted it to be like vines for hair and vines for fingers and hands.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're able to like grasp onto me and hold on.
How does that make you feel?
Just feels like whenever I get to that point, things are out of my control and it's difficult to escape from that feeling.
Is this form here is separate from you, and it's holding on to you? Or is it part of you as well?
Kind of both. Probably why it grabs onto me and stuff. Because it's like a distant part of me. But it's also separate because like whenever I'm in that state, I do things differently. And I don't have the same identity that I have whenever I'm not in that state.
Okay. Well, I think you made some important points here. Is that like it's something that's grabs a hold of you, so it's important to be aware of that. So the form with the vines here, that's representative of your anger, correct? And do you think the form would have anything to say to you? If it had anything to say, what would it say?
It looks like lipstick or something. But that's an open mouth.
Okay.
And it's just like yelling indiscriminately, like blocking out all my thoughts and things of that nature.
So it's invasive in a way, right? You have these tangles of vines that are grabbing onto you. You have this form that's creating all these noises that are just blocking out all your senses. So that's very invasive, and it's all-consuming in a way. Is that another way you describe it?
Yeah. That's a very good way to describe it. It kind of like it takes over, essentially. I would show it like the vines being all over my body and, being able to control how I move and what I say and stuff.
I'd like us to go into a little bit of detail on that anger, and now that this is what it's like when it's reached above your orange. And remember that orange you told me was your safety zone, your safety net, where it keeps it under control. So now it's not at this controlled state. Have you ever had a way of being able to bring you back down without any repercussions or any bad things happening before then?
No. Whenever I get to that, I'm not in control, and I don't know what brings me back.
Try to ground yourself with those breathing exercises instead of letting you focus.
Get to the edge.
Yeah, so time's wrapping up now. We only have a few moments left, but I think we made a good realization with this is that, like, the anger is both a part of you and both something that when it's out of control, you feel it's a separate entity from yourself, holding you back or holding you down in a way, correct?
Yeah.
So what are some goals you want to make to help address your anger?
One of us was saying earlier about doing the breathing exercises sooner so that it's not like up here when I started.
So to do that, you need to be able to work on those breathing exercises. Additionally, would you be willing to do a journal assignment of writing down any time you reach beyond that threshold?
The orange?
If you ever, between now and the next time I see you, if you ever reach that point, you write down it, make a journal to document those feelings and what happened to trigger that emotional state.
What if I don't get past there?
You could also do it as just any form of frustration or anger too on a smaller scale. So when you have a moment of anger, and it doesn't have to be all the way up into that red, write down what feelings you're having about that anger, what made you feel that way to start with, and how did you get out of that state of mind? Did you do a breathing exercise? Was a friend with you? What helped you to calm back down into a more comfortable level of emotions? Do you think you'll be able to do that?
Yeah, sounds easy enough.
Okay, so you can bring that to next session and we can use that as a starting point, doing another thermometer. Alright, does that sound like a plan? Alright, so when you go home, I want you to work on your breathing exercises at least twice a week, okay?
Okay.
And that could be at any moment. It doesn't have to be when you're seeing red or upset. Just to practice going through the motions of the breathing exercise, so when you do need to use it, it's not as difficult to recall what to do.
Okay.
And when you can also do the journal activities, so you can record what actually makes you angry, so you can become aware of what may be bothering you. Sometimes, a lot of times, we're not aware of what bothers us, and we just get angry, and we don't understand why we're angry. So making a journal might be able to help us move forward with addressing what actually causes you to get angry, okay?
Okay.
Alright, well, I'm glad you came in today. Taquito was nice and pleasant. Would you like him to come back for next time too?
Yeah, next time he needs a nap.
Next time he needs a nap.
You just hang out with me.
Oh, I think he'll like that. Well, thank you for coming in today. I'll make sure Taquito's with us next time it's a while. I can walk you out to the front desk. Ready?
Yeah.